Good morning, evening, whatever you want to call it. For some reason, I'm moving slow, so I need to finish my eggs. Let's see. That's good, that's good. Shut down. Steam is shut down. Quit that. Open this. Unreal Engine, come on. Bring that up. Turn that down a little bit. Got my 8 eggs. And I already ate the 2 little sausages. So I can go to Wally World each Monday that I get off work and buy a pack of 60 eggs, and that'll be enough. That'll be mostly enough for the week. Okay. This is where we're at. There is some weirdness with the physics that I'm gonna have to mess with for sure. Um, because like you can see it right here. My mouse right here. This piece, if you watch it, it comes out, hits, goes back towards, and then flies over there, and then bounces up, and then whoop, somehow defies physics and comes back, and then bounces over there. Like, yeah, that's not gonna work. And it might have something to do with the initial velocity. So let's zero those out. Damage threshold. I need mass, yeah. Let's unfreeze that. Let's turn on mass. Kilograms. Okay. Now we need to kilograms to pounds conversion. 900 or 846 kilograms is 1865. 1 ton, I think, is about 1,300 pounds. One ton. One metric ton is 2204 pounds. 0.62. So let's copy that. 999.99888. That's what it said. Oop. Why won't it let me change? Take you out. Can I change it now? What if I remove some of the numbers? Why won't you let me do that? Get rid of you. It won't let me change it. Finish my ding dang eggs. Eat the brains. Eat the undeveloped brains of small birds to give me more brain power myself. I can already feel my IQ growing. Almost got me with that one. Whew. Got that from Halloween and it stuck with me. Really? That's from Halloween? I would have never guessed. Okay, we need to reset this bad boy. Somehow. Simulate? Stop. No. Houston? We got a problem. Rob Zombie's Halloween. Heck yeah. Heck yeah. You're the first person I know who liked that one. Oh, I'm not saying I liked it. In fact, I haven't seen that one. But just hearing Rob Zombie and something else just makes me go, heck yeah. For no reason. Come on. Alright. Let me go throw my plate away and rinse my fork. I'll be right back. Actually. You missed the joke, Raven. Actually. All right, I am. The Lisa soundtrack. The definitive edition or whatever is not as good as the original soundtrack. All right. I got something striking my teeth. Why are you thinking about Linda? Okay. There's still something in there, but I'll just brush my teeth before the gym and I'll be good. Alright, I need to figure out, first of all, why this is the way it is. I need to get it back.
Fascinating story. Any chance you're nearing the end?
Is it a data later? Later, buddy? Nope. Good. Like, let them think that I am the Bob Ross. I should buy an afro wig to wear on stream. Okay, dude. I need to get you. Uh-huh. Mass as density. Mass is that. Damage threshold. Okay. Geometry source. Let's see. Uh-huh. Materials. Yep. It's still being it's still acting like it's still using the recording of the physics. I needed to stop thinking it's using the physics. And it's just laying there. Oh no. How do we fix this? How do I get you back up? We need you back up. I just need to remove this and then put a new one in. Boom. Okay, that doesn't work. I want to be able to click on it and it would start physicsing. This isn't gonna work. I don't have any spawns or anything like that. I'm stuck underground. I can get up here. I can't do anything. This is dumb. Get me out of here. How do I get out of here? Jeez. Jeez. Okay. I need to put a small... Do I want to do a small or a big... Maybe we could just add a cube. And then we could change the dimensions of the cube. Flatten it. Widen it. Boom. Okay. And we'll put it right here. Right above it. It will have physics. The mass will be, okay, I can change that one, that's good. Let's see if that works. I think I turned off the physics. No, it's there. I can't change that. Freaking. Ads. The good old ads. While the ads are rolling, I need to see if that mouse pad was released. Where did I? There it is. You were waiting for a mouse pad release? Yeah. It might be the 29th before it is. Yeah, I was waiting for it to release because I don't know how fast it's gonna sell out. And I would like to get one. It just gave me a deal. Get notified when Kojima Productions and High Ground collab drops. Cool. Yeah, let me show you. I guess they're not gonna even have a I guess, is there not going to be a preview for it anywhere? What is that? Oh, that's their app. Lookbooks? Ah, here we go. Well, you can't see all of it. Come on. Show a better picture of it. I wanted to possibly get the keyboard as well. Here. This is what the keyboard and some of the mouse pad looks like. I'm in the seriously fear I'm getting into my collecting phase again. I'm seriously in the market for a new mouse pad, and I saw this on the Twitter and I was like, yeah, that logo is cool. I like the logo. Maybe I'll get one of those. I was thinking about the keyboard too, because I'm in the keyboard market as well, but it doesn't have a numpad. None of their keyboards at High Ground has numpads, so that's a no-go. As nice as it looks, I can't do that. So yeah, that's the mouse pad I want to get. I thought it looked nice. I would like to get one. And I don't know how fast they'll sell out, so. Did you ever finish Death Stranding? I did not. No. I keep thinking about it. I would have to start over if I did it, which wouldn't that be a big deal, but I've got so much going on right now as far as games. I'm full. But Death Stranding is on my to return to category on my Steam library, so one day I will get back to it. It is on the docket. Okay, so let's test this again. It is not breaking apart, even though it has the geometry collection. Sure. I would like to do a challenge run of Death Stranding. Maybe something like Shoeless? That would be tough. Do you just take constant damage? Health damage if you don't wear shoes? I need different music. Sorry, Lisa, you're a good intro music, but you're not the greatest for this. Some of the music is okay. Let's go back to yeah. Some Armored Core. That's another game I have on my to return to list is Armored Core 6. I would like to finish that game someday. Also, it looks great in HDR. Okay, let's see. I think maybe I need to change its damage threshold to something. Let's see what 5,000 does. That's a little better. Okay, 5,000 works for the most part. Okay. It's still a little too tough. We'll just keep exponentially lowering it until we get our desired effect. Yeah, without shoes, you get injured and causes bleeding. Jeez. That sounds like it would be extremely tough. You'd have to constantly be grabbing those little worm things. Maybe that'll be good. Okay, let's add a cache manager. Wait. Hold on. Let me open up the sequencer. I should have a cache manager. Cache collection. We're going to do record. And go. Okay. So that should be there now. Start time. End time. It did. Oh. Static pose. No. Cache collection. Is that from the first one or this one? Okay, it stops at there. Copy. Select that. Enter it into there. There we go. And then we can Make the cube not visible. I don't... There's still some weirdness in there. Why do we gotta have the weirdness? It's not the lighting either. Where are you? I can turn the lighting off for now. Nope, it always does that. It's like this piece right here. If you pay attention to it, it goes down, it bounces off, and then it keeps doing some weird gravitational. You can really see it up here in the front parts. Especially this thin piece right here that keeps moving around. There it is right there. It keeps bouncing in weird areas and then disappears, thankfully. I don't know what causes that. Also, is the triangle not going to cast a light? What do we got to do for that? Yes, I need a... we'll try a rectangle light over here. It's not casting a shadow. Why is that? Uh... This is not an instance. So where's my window? Where's my no? Oh, I'm stupid. I'm a stupid stum. Let's see. Use with geometry collections. Okay. With geometry cache, I don't know. Maybe instant static meshes, sure. That should be good enough. But I still don't got no shadow. Is there a shadow based on the directional light? Probably. It is not casting a shadow. Why you no cast shadow? Why you no showing path tracing? I guess I could add a where are you at? Light mass importance volume. And then we'll build the lighting. Static mesh actor 0. A large actor receives a pre-shadow and it will cause an extreme performance hit unless B cast dynamic shadow is set to false. Which actor is this? Oh. Yeah, I don't care. It's fine. What I want is shadows for this thing. And that's not happening. I mean, there are shadows in there. Or at least some sort of lighting. So I guess that's going to be something I need to look up. Ooh, get that off my screen. Trying to dox me. Let's see. Chaos, physics, lighting, Unreal 5. Basics of Unreal Engine 5 Chaos. Let's see. Enable plugins, create a mesh, create field systems, adding a force field, I don't know. None of that screams. Chaos physics actor has no lighting. Unreal 5. Has no shadows? Shadows. No shadows on actors. Chaos Destruction doesn't cast a shadow, and the material changes color. Somebody said, what version are you using? They said 5.3. Those were both 8 months ago, and that was it. Oh, update. I think I solved my own problem. It's the ray tracing. If you type the CVAR, the shadows come back. Okay, let's try that. Or ray tracing, geometry, spelled correctly. Geometry collection. Space 1. Boom. The shadows are back. They were right. It does seem to be a little weirdness, but that could be just because of the shiftiness of everything. Okay, we put that to 0.5. We'll put it at 1 again. And we'll see how it looks. We got shadows. Good. Does that mean I can do path tracing on it now? I can. I can. Would I want to do it with path tracing? I don't know. I don't think it's worth it, really. Not for something simple like this. No reflections. No colored lighting. Although I could do some colored lighting. And it is smooth. Maybe it would help during these scenes. We'll see what it looks like with path tracing, and then we'll switch back to Lumen and see if it looks bad or not. That looks nice. Now let's see what this... Excuse you. I can't see. I'll have to do this real quick. That will probably be just fine. It'll probably look alright in the render. Okay, so let's look here. I want to look at camera actor 1. We're gonna have to change those. Okay. Camera actor 1. Boom, 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 boom. And then camera actor 2 will start here. Boom, 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 boom. That's gonna be a short. Oof. Camera actor 3. There. Yeah, that's gonna be real short. Let's see, 1.2. Maybe I'll start it at like here. And then here. Should I adjust the, let's see, 1.2 and focal distance. Maybe it's the motion blur. I don't remember what that is on the cameras. That doesn't change anything. None of these things change anything. I don't, oh, probably because I'm not in the camera. That's not changing anything though. If I put the ISO at 1000, it should be like overblown. And that should be darker. But it doesn't do any of that post-process stuff for me. Oh, because I don't have a post-process volume in the level. That's why. Volume. I'm just seeing if there's like a high quality one. Nope. Okay, there is one in there now. Now there's a motion blur. If I wanted to get crazy with it. Target FPS. 120 is the highest. Per object size? I don't know. Let's get crazy with it. Do like 100 just to see what it does. 100 is the max, it looks like. I don't think the FPS changes anything. Looks completely different when you're running at 60 FPS, huh? Okay. So I don't know if that's gonna do anything. Let's go back to the camera and see if this works now. It doesn't. It doesn't do anything. Why? If I do bloom, the bloom works. The ISO and all that doesn't work. Why not? Well, that looks noticeably... Oh, because of bloom, right. Local exposure? That's not what I want. I just want ISO and stuff like that to work correctly. It's not, though. Now does the ISO work? No. Can do exposure compensation. That's frustrating. Why does that not work? I'm in the camera. Am I not in the camera? I should be in the camera. I'm taking control of the camera. And yet nothing happens. ISO in camera options does nothing. Unreal 5. Why would they label it as solved by when the solved by says, well, I tried putting it on manual metering mode and all the other ones. Use the physical camera, ... I don't have a post-process volume in my scene, so that can't be it either. Nothing I try makes the ISO, shutter speed, f-stop, ... have any effect. Does it work for you guys? That's not solved. Nothing works. Why? $1,000 ISO on any camera would be insane brightness. Unless the shutter speed was really high. But none of that is working. The aperture is doing nothing as well. I don't want to do it with post-process volumes. You stums. Every one of these videos is like with post-processing douche. I don't want to use that. This guy is talking only my left ear. You guys have to be subjected to this too.
So these numbers have been creeping up, but that's your average.
Who does a video
So,
like this?
In this case scenario, I was lit for a 2.8, and I closed down by 2 stops. So you can, let me just bring this back here so you can see this, right? So I was at a 2.8, and I closed down by 2 stops. Now the way I can compensate cameras that I've ever done anything with, shot anything with, are about 100 years old. So this is a French Sept and a DeVry, from
Yeah.
Chicago. Sony F900, which is the first. And I just wanted to show you guys. I didn't just pick up a DSLR and kind of like came up with some of the stuff. I've really been dealing with high-end cameras all the way from semi like the Super 8, for example, or even Blackmagic cameras. I'll put those more into
Let's
the
get to the
consumer
actual
grade
camera stuff.
area,
Let's
and
go.
it all the way up right here, very simply put together. And one of the first things that's already in here, but I'm gonna hide it. Whoops, maybe not.
They do have a post-process
I'm just
volume.
going to show you how to set up a post-process volume, because that is an important step. So you're going to need to go into your volumes, and when you go onto here, just type in post, and you can come up with a post-process volume. So this is now a second one right here. And the first thing you want to do with this post-process volume, you want to make it infinite. Otherwise, it's only going to take effect when your camera is physically in it. So you want to type in infinite.
I forgot to do that.
And check the infinite extend checkbox right here.
Yeah.
So, and now in your post-process volume, you want to set a few things.
Fascinating story. Any chance you're nearing the end?
A lot of this stuff we can set up in the cameras. It is convenient doing it in the post-process volume because it will affect all the cameras unless you unless you highlight the setting and change it inside the camera. The camera will essentially take its settings from here. So it makes a lot of sense to do some of the things in here, but I will, so for this to be less confusing, I'll just set up, a couple of things, and then the rest we'll do in the camera. So one of the most important thing that you're gonna need to do is you're gonna need to change the metering mode to, which this is by default the engine is set up to auto exposure, which is a problem. So we're going to change this to manual, and we're gonna set this to 0. And what's most likely going to happen on your end right now, if you set up the lighting, it's probably gonna go completely black. And this is then when you have to just go in here and start adjusting. In this case, my lights have been adjusted.
Was reading on goats. Didn't know their horns could grow into their eyes and kill them. Huh. I fact checked. That's real. Wow. Huh. That sucks.
To match this, so that you're gonna have to go into your lighting intensity and just up that until it looks the way you want it. But this now is also, so this is measured in candelas right here. This is a much more realistic reading. I think off the truck they come like at 8 candelas or something. So so this is a much more realistic setting right now. And
I
with
can't
that,
change
now,
the
once
type
you
of
have relit
light.
that scene using your post-process volume in this way, you're ready to drop in a camera. And so in this particular case, what I'm going to do is I have a whole bunch of cameras in here for demo purposes. I'll show you those later. But I'll now create a camera. So you want to place a cine camera.
Now
actor.
it's changing that.
Create camera here, cine camera actor. Don't not a camera actor. So you just want to go place your cine camera actor. And then in this
Oh.
case, I am going to my placed actor number 14. So this is our Cinecamera actor. And now let's take a look on how this comes off the truck. So the first thing is it's you have to figure out what your film gauge is. So when I showed a bunch of different cameras before, some were Super 8, some were digital, some were 35, some were well, actually, of those no, but some of them may have a large sensor. So the thing is that you want to match this to a certain look that you're interested in. So if if you want to make it look like a certain movie that you have seen that you like, then it makes sense to look up what it was shot on, and to adjust your camera accordingly. One of the things that's important to note is that not all, different manufacturers make sensors slightly different. So, for example, if I switch this here to Super 35, right, then I will get
What was Blade Runner shot on?
24.8 by 18.66. Now, I'm sure this is true for this is probably true for film. But then on the other hand, if I now go
I hate that you
full,
can't just
like,
search
let's say
Blade
Red
Runner.
Komodo
It always comes up with 2049 nowadays.
sensor size, then which is also advertised as Super 35, then you can see right here we are getting a larger sensor. So the Red Komodo still qualifies as Super 35, so you can see this right here, but it is actually slightly larger, right? Which actually matters when it comes to lens choices on that camera. But if you really want to match that Red Komodo, for example, which is actually a very good camera to shoot
70
on
millimeter.
in virtual production on a volume because it has a global shutter. Um, so then you would probably want to match this setting right here. So, but I'm gonna leave it here at Super 35. Now, a lot of movies have been shot on Super 35 or on a regular 35. So this would be 35 Academy. 35 millimeter VistaVision is running the film sideways through, so it's almost twice as big actually as 35 Academy. So that actually compares a lot more to
Where is
35
the
millimeter
focal?
DSLR. Um,
Where are we at?
IMAX is
Whoa,
the,
whoa, whoa,
the
what's going
biggest
on?
one that's on here. So that's 65 millimeter film for 70 millimeter projection. The smallest film that's
There we
on
go.
here is Super 8. And then there's also, of course, Super 16, which is kind of like an in-between. Super 8 is pretty much never used for professional motion picture production. There may be some segments or music videos can be shot with this. Super 16, some films have been shot on that. Black Swan is a good example. So it's not very commonly shot, but it has been done. Super 35 and 35 are these are the most common, even though lately large format, so that would be this here or this here or even this here is essentially becoming the standard really nowadays. So more and more movies are shot in large format. But I'm sticking now with Super 35, and one thing that is greatly misunderstood is just because this is the sensor size of a Super 35 millimeter camera, it doesn't mean we're shooting this format. The reality is
Yeah,
that
the
the vast majority of
1080p
movies are
version
cropped in
was
the
on 70 millimeter
and you actually have right here
for the
a
negatives.
crop setting right here. It says no crop. And if you look right here, the most common, and this is actually the guys from Epic should update this because there is a couple of issues here. The 235 is the standard. I'm sorry, 239 is the standard for widescreen. So this is correct. 177 to 1 equates to 16 by 9. And 133 equates to roughly 4 by 3. Now that is the silent aspect ratio. So if I click on that, nothing is really much going to change. So that was silent. For sounds, the old aspect ratio was actually 137 to 1, and the most common movie aspect ratio besides 239 is actually 185 to 1 and not
Oops.
177. So if in this case we would want to do this custom, right? But we're gonna stick with 239 widescreen. That's a nice format. It's very cinematic. One of the things that you do want
Oh,
to
it's in
consider
crop
when you make
settings?
these
Oh, okay.
choices is that there should be a reason, I believe, why you make some choice. You shouldn't just pick 133 or 137 just because it's vintage. One of the things that you do need to be aware of is that this is associated with television by a lot of people, at least those people who are used to still have had a 4:3 television. And television was before the streaming boom started. Movies that were done for television were associated with being cheaper made. So there certainly is a subconscious relation between this aspect ratio and it not being as valuable or expensively made a movie as this aspect ratio. This is probably going to change now that essentially streaming has started playing around with aspect ratios, and streaming shows are essentially getting more funding than some movies. So there's certainly some changes that will be made, but or a way that this is going to feel different in the future to future generations. But at this point, generations that have grown up with the older style televisions will probably still have subconsciously this association. So it's just it's your call. I'm just making you aware of it. Okay, so now we have set up the manual exposure on our post-process volume, and the rest I'm gonna do in camera, even though most of this you can also do in the post-process volume. I'm going to delete my second post-process volume now because I've already set this up and I don't want to conflict this. Okay, so we are going, so we have our Cinecamera actor here. I forgot I already did that. So yeah, so we're already in the camera. So it's Super 35, and we are at a 239 crop. All right. So the first thing we're gonna set up here is our focal length, and for a reason that I don't quite know, 11.88 is the go-to choice of Epic Games, and this is really not a focal length that I'm aware of is existing. Maybe it does. I don't know. But usually, focal lengths are in millimeters.
So I need to change all of these.
Lenses for sure. So this would be on the wide end, a standard focal length that you would see is a 16 millimeter, for example. Let's actually go to our camera.
Where did I set that? Current focal length. Yeah.
Okay, let me just.
It won't let me change it. Why not?
At 11, that would be a fairly standard, well, already on the wide set of the end of the lens set. a 16 is still a
There.
very wide lens. A For Super 35, then
That didn't change anything.
well, you would then probably have in a set a 25. Oopsie, 25 mil. So that's kind of like this. You would then
Hello?
a 35, which is kind of like your normal lens in Super 30. Well, Super 35 is a little bigger than normal 35.
Oh,
so it
max
would
focal
be
length.
probably more like a 45 is your normal lens. So in between
There we
35
go.
and 50 is normal. And when I say normal or standard, we're talking about the way your eyes kind of like see the world. So this would be in between 35 and 50 millimeter. If this is a DSLR, then it would, with a full size sensor, then this would be more of a 50 millimeter. And then we go into the telephoto range. So we would probably in a set maybe have a 75 millimeter and potentially a 90 millimeter and maybe 100 millimeter or 125 and uh, so obviously camera position has never changed. You can see as I'm upping this focal length, you can essentially you can see how the higher number brings us closer, or at least in makes it look like it's closer. One thing that is important to notice is that the longer lens, so a 100 millimeter would be called a long lens, is, the longer the lens is, the more it compresses
Focus.
space. So look at the elevator door behind our character on a 100 millimeter
That's
lens.
not focusing correctly.
Look how close it looks.
What are you doing?
He actually is to that door.
That's not
If I
correct.
go now to, let's say, a 25 millimeter, it will look like she is farther away, or even, going to back to an 11. Whoopsie, 11. Yeah. So it looks like there is more space between her and that door, the wider focal length I'm going to, right? So let me do another extreme here, 200. So you see, it looks like she's standing right in front of it now, or it's right. The door is right behind. So this is really the way that the lens crops out the image. So we're technically zooming in and out. So on a movie set, you would not.
So I'm thinking maybe I will
but most of the time,
render out
now if you want to match
the whole scene for each camera so I can do different shots
do is just find
and not have to worry about an actual timeline.
online and then find out what the focal lengths are. So I just googled right here, Cook S4s. So
Shutter speed is 1,000, so it makes it very dark.
S4 is at 18.
That's fine.
A 21, a 25, 32, 40, 50, 65, 75, 100, and 135. The T2.8 is the aperture, so this is how much light they can let through. This is admittedly not a very fast lens, especially nowadays. They're pretty much on the slow end. Very good lenses, but a little slowish. So, all right. And this is right here is this aperture. So you see the aperture is the should have left that window open. I'm gonna demonstrate this to you. So the aperture is this right here. So your lens is wide open. The higher that this number goes, the more this lens closes, and the more the darker your image gets. The the lens before you saw was advertised as a 2.8, so means that it can only let this much light through. Okay, so some lenses are faster. Um, once you go faster than 2,
Oh, does this one have bloom on it? Is that
then it's called super speed.
why is that different?
And once you get faster than 1 at this point, which there isn't much, lenses are often referred to as knocked, N-O-K-T, I believe, lenses. And so because they're extremely light sensitive. So I personally use these apertures. These are the full stops. Right here, I use these apertures. I use these numbers also in the engine.
I don't need to do any of that.
And the reason why I like using them is because I also know that with each stop, if I close it down.
No, bloom's off. Why is this one so much dark or lighter than the other ones?
Is cutting it in half of 1.4, 2.8.
Or does it just seem that way?
Brightness in half of 2, and so forth. And this is good to know because this also then later on relates really well to the ISO of our camera, so we can really kind of like work with
brightness of sun in
2.8 now. If I now
lux.
and close this lens by, let's say, 2 stops, then the image is going to get dark.
32 to 100,000.
Whoops, didn't mean to.
Prepare your eyes.
So the image has gotten darker. What's a little bit difficult to see now because because it got darker, is that also now our door should be a little bit more in focus. And this is an important thing to realize when. Okay, I'm trying to find my camera. There we go. So here's our camera ISO, and I'm gonna play with the shutter in a second. I'll show you that. But the ISO is set to 100.
Why is it not?
The ISO is the sensor's light sensor.
Oh, because I'm doing camera 3.
Again, adjust this to real world settings. Then you will find that if the fastest motion picture film stock made by Kodak would be 500 ISO nowadays, and not the fastest, but the average camera, the average cine camera nowadays is around 800 ISO. These numbers have been creeping up, but that's your average. So in this case scenario, I was lit for a 2.8, and I closed down by 2 stops. So you can, let me just bring this back here so you can see this, right? So I was at a 2.8 and I closed down by 2 stops. Now the way I can compensate for this right here is by increasing the number and by doubling it every time. So from 2.8 to 4, that would be 1 stop. That is in terms of ISO from 100 to 200. So if I double the ISO, I am increasing the light sensitivity. I'm doubling the light sensitivity. If I then double it from 200 to 400, I'm again doubling the light sensitivity. So I have, with my lens, I have cut it down. These are called stops. I've cut it down by 1 stop, and then I've cut it down by 2nd stop. And if I want to compensate this now to look exactly the way it looked before, then I gotta go 100 to 200 is the 1 stop, and then 200 to 400 is the 2nd stop. So in this case, 400 is gonna give us the same lighting
Ambient daylight.
brightness than we have.
10,000 to
If I
25,000.
now up this again by, let's say, 2 stops, so
And
you can see
overcast daylight is 1,000.
100 and then 800 times 2 is 16.
Let's
So 1600.
at least do one of those
Now,
lower ones. Let's do the
uh,
10,000.
let's even go 3200.
There we go.
So now up this by 3 stops. And in order to compensate for it, I gotta go F8, 16, 11, 16. And then, by the way, if you know, the way it works is that every second number doubles. So the next one would be a 22. Okay. So, and then 32 and so forth. So we're gonna go now to a 16. And that's gonna give us the same image. But now you should be able to clearly see what has happened. As I'm closing the aperture down, my door has come more and more into focus. And that's because we are increasing the depth of field. Now, plain and
Do I need to
simple,
change it
if you
here?
want to shoot more cinematic in the engine, you want to have a shallower depth of field most of the time.
Current aperture.
In other
Okay.
words, it makes a lot more sense to leave your
Ah,
aperture at
that's where I
something
need to
like,
do it.
you know, a super
Okay,
speed
let's do current focal length and favorites, current aperture and favorites,
adjust your
um,
ideally actually your lighting.
and shutter speed and favorites and ISO and favorites.
So, in this case, we probably need to go down to something like a
So then we can change that stuff here.
Okay, there we go. So now the other thing is that your shutter speed, a camera shutter, is the speed is kind of like double your frame rate. So what this means is
Here we
this
go.
comes from movie cameras. And by the way,
So the shutter, fast shutter speed, 1/1000 should be with a small aperture so that the aperture closes in, the higher it is. And then if you have a fast shutter speed, it's like super fast.
your lens. Just now in the real world, what I just did, you know, compensating with my eyes.
So we need to change. Oops.
Because you're actually affecting.
Yeah, all those settings are up here now. Okay, shutter speed.
Negatively.
Do 30
And,
with an
if you're going
aperture
to,
of
you can also, introduce
5.6. It says.
not something you want to do. But in the engine, this doesn't happen, so it doesn't matter. Okay.
And then an ISO of
The
1600.
way a shutter
That's
works,
too bright.
see if I can find something online for you guys.
Way too bright.
So the way a movie camera shutter works is it rotates in front of the gate, and the thing is that the film stops when it's being exposed, so when this is open, and then this shutter rotates in front, and that's when the film is being transported. Otherwise, this whole thing would be a blur. So as this rotates in front, the film is being transported, and because it is a semicircular shutter, it means that half the time the film is being exposed, and half the time the film.
Okay, dude. Thanks. I appreciate you. You definitely helped me. But now I need to move on to figuring out how I want it to look. So, 16 seems all right. So 16, 30 shutter speed, ISO of 100. And first camera 16, shutter speed of 30 and 100. Good. We could also do it differently. Sorry for the flashbang. Not much I can do there. We can lower the directional light to real dark. And then use rectangular lights to brighten up the scene. Like we did with the coffee cup. Okay. And we are going to add an actor. Where is it? I guess we can do a null actor since we have the motion design stuff in. Let's zero out his location. And then we will put the light into the rectangular light. And while ads are rolling, I'm going to go get another drink. you see that uppercut? Watch this. I'm going to do a Shoryuken. Get ready for it. First. Okay, get ready for it. Shoryuken. There we go. It's cropped a little low, you know. It's fine. Anyway, this is really dark now. Wow. Okay, so why can't I move? There we go. So we have this light. We can move it back. And we can move it over. And then we can turn it about 45 degrees. That'll be pointed towards that. Then we'll duplicate it. Where is it at? Edit, duplicate. And we'll do this 45. And negative 250. And there we go. Now we can just move the null actor up. Like so. Excellent. Let's look at the cinematic viewport so we can look at these scenes. And it is very dark. Extremely dark. Okay, so now let's adjust these lights while we have this here. I don't want it too bright in the background. And then these might actually be too bright. I don't think they're bright enough. There we go. Right, that camera is slightly too low. There we go. Directional light. Do I want to use temperature? Maybe. Speaking of temperature, there we go. Make sure I'm on sRGB mode on the monitor. All right. Love this music, but it's a little loud. Is this monitor still on? Yeah. I found out that this monitor, the cheapest one I got, the first IPS panel monitor that I ever got, the only thing bad about it is it's a 60 hertz monitor, but it has an sRGB mode on it. It's still not quite as, it's still not as good as the one that I have now, but it was nice to know that I had that. So there's at least minimal differences. Minimal compared to this monitor. You can usually overclock this to 75. Yeah, I have done that before. But I mean, when I only had this one, I overclocked it to 75. But now that I have monitors that are way above that just by default, it doesn't matter anymore. 75 is a little bit smoother. Okay, let's preface this. Let's preface this with, I am extremely sensitive to refresh rates. So, because I'm extremely sensitive to refresh rates, I can notice from 60 to 75. But when you go and you get a 144, or in this case, this one's a 360 hertz. Let me make sure. Yeah, it's a 360 hertz monitor. At this point, overclocking this 60 hertz monitor to 75 is not going to do anything for me, because regardless, whenever I get used to how smooth this looks and I look over at this one and look at the 60 hertz, I can see, even though I'm not playing a game on it, I can usually see the difference inside of the preview pane. And I look over and I'm like, man, the stream looks really choppy. And then I check it and I'm like, oh no, the stream's not choppy. It's just I've been looking at high refresh rates for at least an hour now. And then when I look over at that, it's a low refresh rate. So, since I preference that, that's why I don't just overclock it, because 75 at this point is not going to do me any good. But I did back in the day when I just had that one as my like main monitor. And it was slightly smoother. So whenever those people are like, I want 120 FPS minimum, I get it. You know, I don't immediately think that, oh, well, they're just being spoiled little PC gamer brats. You know, no, there's probably a chance that they're just really sensitive to refresh rates. So, yeah. Probably just sensitive to it. Like I am. Alright. I guess we can render this out and see what it looks like. I'll render it out as is, and then when I actually want to make the scene, I'll render it, each camera in its own full entirety. That's not the right one. This one? 360, yes. Okay, let's get to cone test. And everything should be good. Alright. Let's do a practice render. See how it looks. That doesn't look like a cone. Oh. There we go. Let's try that again. Hello? Unreal's locked up. Whoa, 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 whoa. Where's my mouse? I don't have a mouse. My mouse is gone. Okay, this is also not... This isn't the correct scene. Can we stop, please? Thank you. Map. Cone level. Are we good? Try this again. Hey, there we go. I'm still getting those weird elastic pieces doing weird things. There we go. Okay, save. Close. Let's put in DaVinci and see what happens. Stupid hair. It's actually not too bad at that frame rate. It's a little weird, but it's not too bad. The noise, I don't want it. I need to be able to crop the noise. Or at least mask it. Color, composite depixel, effect, film, filter, flow generator, mask. Rectangle mask. Yes. Perfect. I don't need both of those. Can I fit? Okay, the chromatic aberration. .005. 5. I need a very small amount. I think that's better. There we go. Because for some reason, that's too much. But that's like just enough. Okay. Yeah.